इथे सेमिनार बोर्ड रूम. नाही माझ्या
माझे पण खेळलाच आहे पण मग जे तुम्ही ओपन Good morning, everyone. We'll start the session within the 5 minutes. So be there. Once the members will be joined, we will start with the session. Thank you so much.
हे केलं. हा करून टाका की तासाभराचं हे लावून ठेवा नुसतं झूमवर आहे.
Muluk ma'am, I think we should start with the session.
Yes, sure.
थर्टी फाइव ही है पार्टी.
Good morning, everyone. A request to all the participants, please mute yourself. Am I audible to you all? Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Can you hear me, but? Hello, madam, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. We have some electricity issue in our college today. Not today, from past few days. So we can start with the lecture, ma'am. Can we start?
Hello, Ashwini ma'am, can you make me the host?
Am I audible to you all? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, but voice is low.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Now, am I audible clearly?
Ashwini ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Enter also the host so that I can share the screen. Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience due to some network issue. Am I unable to join with my laptop? So I have to change the system. So first of all, I want to say the good morning and hello to everyone who are joining over here. Myself, Professor Ashwini Muruk, working as a lecturer at RGSPM Institute of Pharmacy, and we all gather here for the today's faculty development program on the turning the traditional education flipped learning. First of all, I will give the little bit introduction about our institute. That is RGSPM, Rajmata Jizau Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, was established in year of 2000 with the goal that to be an outstanding education and research institute of pharmaceutical science in the country. RGSPM Institute of Pharmacy is established in year of 2006. It is approved by the AICT, then PCI, DT. It is affiliated by the MSBT and also certified with the Green Campus. It was established with a vision to improve the human condition by the advancement of the knowledge through the excellence and innovation in a teaching, research and outreach program. Mission of our institute is we will persistently engage to generate and preserve the knowledge, understanding and creativity that benefits our students, scholars and communities across the pharmaceutical field. I'm so pleased to be here with you all for the today's faculty development program and to have the chance to introduce our today's guest of honor, Dr. Babita Agarwal ma'am. I will sure, ma'am, that your guidance will be definitely beneficial for all of us. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being here. So I want to give a little introduction about the today's guest of honor to all the participants. Ma'am is having experience more than 15 years of a service to executive level in the professionals. She is having the building and maintaining the professional relationships with all levels of the staff. Ma'am is having the analytical, insightful professional with a PhD in pharmaceutical chemistry. Ma'am is also the technical writer and 15 plus years of experience in the field, six opportunity for the further growth and the experience. Ma'am is having the 14 publications, 12 international and the two book chapters with the total citations 24. Uh, Index is having 3 and total presentation ma'am has presented total 14 14 presentations, 2 internationals and the 12 nationals one. Ma'am has completed her BPharm and MPharm from the DY Patil Institute of Pharmacy. Ma'am is having her pursued her PhD degree from the AISSMS College of Pharmacy, Pune. So today we will having the wide spectrum guest of honor, that Dr. Babita Agarwal ma'am. I'm sure ma'am that your guidance will be definitely beneficial for all of us. Now I want to request our principal Dr. Ravindra Chintamani sir to say the few words about him.
Am I audible to all?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Good morning, all of you. I, Dr. Ravindra Chintamani, Principal of RGSPM Institute of Pharmacy, Pune. I welcome all the participants for today's one-day faculty development programs. I am thankful to Dr. Babita Agarwal for accepting our invitation and being a part of this. And we know that you are keen to contribute to the profession, to the colleagues, and to the society. And I am also thankful to all the principals who encouraged all the faculties to be part of this webinar. I am thankful to all the participants for being a part of this webinar. Dear participants, as you all know that we used to organize various events, webinars for the student as well as the faculty members. We believe that the faculties are the key persons who plays important role in the development of the students. So with that aim, we thought why not to arrange one FDP for the faculty who are willing to join this profession as a career and who are into the profession. So with that thought, we come up with the idea, and firstly we thought of Dr. Babita Agarwal, who is a very right key speaker for the today's session. Uh, Dear participants, stay connected with us for more webinars on the faculty development programs. We will definitely find new topics for you for your development and ultimately the students. Uh, I believe that I have worked with the Babita ma'am, and the input by her will definitely give some insight for the career and the experience that will add some experience to your current experience. So stay connected with, and I'm again thankful to all the participants and to the speaker. I request ma'am to start with the your session and insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And I am also thank you to Muluk ma'am. She was very much in connection with me throughout till today. We are here to listen to the topic. I'm also thankful to Rajmata Jijau Shikshan Prasarak Mandal's Institute of Pharmacy to give me this opportunity to present you with a very interesting topic. As you know that we all are moving slowly, we would be moving towards NEP. The entire national education policy we required to train the teachers more, okay, to give you the effective output to your students. So with this into my, what we say with this, I have kept only this topic in my head, and I have chosen the topic as turning the traditional education to flipped learning, okay. So now I will be explaining what is flipped learning and how do you actually utilize this important tool for giving the best output to your students. Okay, the input and which would be converted into an output. Am I audible, Muluk ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yeah. Can you please share my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Can you please make me co-host so I can share the PPTs because you are host.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, I have done it.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. I will share the PPT, then we will start with the session.
Yes, we'll start. Okay, before still ma'am is sharing the presentation, I just want to know that in the participants, are the teachers all of diploma level? Are they teaching the diploma students or also degree teachers present in this today's session? So that I could explain to you how do you use this tool for those kind of students, like a different level of students, right? Diploma and degree. Yes, audience.
From the faculty members is from all type of that is all department like degree, diploma, etc.
Okay, yeah, okay. Participants, we all know that in this COVID situation, we were facing so much issues when we were trying to shift from offline mode to online mode. Okay, so when even I, as a teacher, was having certain difficulties in understanding that how do I give the maximum input to the students so that they understand the course content properly. So when I was just going through that, what are the various approaches are used in American institutes or Western institutes, I came across this very interesting topic. I think everyone is aware by the word flipped. Okay, flipped learning. What is flipped learning? But when I was researching on this topic, I found out there is so much of depth into this approach. And if it is used by us, we are the teachers, right? We are the mentors for these students. So it is going to really create a shift in their understanding and in their how do they understand the course content. Okay, that is my basic what we say insight of flipped learning. So I'll just explain, let madam share it, or if she's not able to share it, I will be explaining it without a presentation. Ma'am, you are able to do it?
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. I will share the
Yes.
screen. I'm trying to do the sharing. So just
Okay. Yeah.
within 1 to 2 minutes, I will share the screen with you all now.
Yes. Fine. So, does anyone know what do you mean by the word flip? Okay, जब सोचते हैं what is flip, तो हम लोगों को लगता है कि role reverse कर देते, right? So actually it is meaning that only. But the person who had actually coined this word, so he had a different agenda in his head, like what, why it is has to be flip and what is a flip learning. Okay, so definitely it is reversing. Okay, flipping is reversing, वही वाला चीज है इसमें. But we will take a in-depth knowledge about what is this flip learning and how people in abroad are using this and why can't we use. Okay, we are definitely here to teach the students, so we can use this technique to give the maximum to the students. Okay, उनको बोर भी नहीं होना चाहिए and they should be participative in all the discussions. That's the main reason of our being into education, isn't it? So let's see how it goes.
The screen is visible to you all, ma'am?
Not yet. Yes.
I will share it once again. So, now it is visible, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible. Okay, let's start. Now, turning the traditional education. Now, we all know what is a traditional education. Using the best traditional education, which we all know is using chalkboard and explaining it to the students, like we were taught by our teachers, isn't it? So, but when we start thinking about it, is it that वही हमको maximum knowledge दे पाएगा क्या students को? No, it is not the case. Now, because the students are totally into a different generation, so we just cannot stick to the chalk and board. And now, as we know that we were facing the pandemic, the pandemic situation, when we come across such situations in near future, are we really prepared? So this tool will actually help you to keep you prepared in both the situations, whether it is online or whether it is offline, you are prepared. Okay. Now, if you, ma'am, can you do it F5? Yeah, slideshow.
The next screen is visible to you, ma'am?
Yeah, like what is flipped classroom? So flipped classroom is a pedagogical approach. Now, what is the meaning of a pedagogical approach? See, peda actually means a small child or a school going child. तो उसको हम सिखाने के लिए जो approach use करेंगे उसको हम बोलेंगे pedagogical. But now when I was researching about how do we teach these students and all, I came across three different words. Okay, one is a pedagogical approach, one is an andragogical approach, and the third is a heutagogical approach. Now, that is not our concern now, but now I'll just explain quickly what do you mean by pedagogy, andragogy, and what is heutagogy. Okay, ma'am, there is lots of disturbance. I cannot hear. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible to you, right?
You are audible, but there is lots of background noise.
We are
Okay,
not able to. I think
okay,
Vishnu Live is still there.
okay. So pedagogical approach is how do you teach the school children? Okay, तो पेड़ा अर्थ वही होता है ना. Andragogical approach was a different approach where the student and the teacher, instead of giving them a very traditional knowledge, moving out. And Newtagogical approach was giving them live examples, making them participative, and that is very important for higher education. Like we all are dealing with the higher education, so Newtagogical approach is that approach. So now we directly move to flipped classroom. It is a direct instruction which moves a group learning space to the individual learning space. Okay. Now what is this? ये direct instruction जो हम students को देते हैं, like when we are teaching a group of students or a class of students, we are becoming what? Sage of the stage. That means we are the owners of that classroom and we start teaching. But then we have to move from that to individually. We have to see that whether that child, whether that student is able to understand the concept or he has some problem. ये हम लोगों का major concept होना चाहिए. So the resulting group space is transferred from a dynamic interactive learning and into a dynamic learning environment. We'll see how does this happen to become a dynamic interactive learning environment. And the educator, like we the teachers, they will guide students. Here the teacher acts as a mentor, okay, as a guide to the students, and we are motivating them to apply those concepts and make it more creative. How they will make it more creative, or how will they explain that concept, or what have they understood from that concept, is your basic, what we say, approach. Now this is taken from the Flip Learning Network of 2014. Ma'am, can you move to the next slide? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Next slide, please.
Yes, sir. Just actually here network issue is there, no? So it's taking problem.
Okay, so shall I share my content like that only without the presentation? It is okay. No issue.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
visible, ma'am?
Yes. So the concept of flipped classroom, it was first brought up by certain school chemistry teachers. Okay. They were Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sapp. So they were the first who brought this concept, because when they were teaching, they found that every student is not able to understand. So in their book, they have written, the book's name is Flip Your Classroom. Reach every student in every class every day. Not only one day you are supposed to do it, every day you are supposed to do it. So they discussed a couple of reasons why teachers should consider flipping as their mode of approach. Now we'll see what it is. Ma'am, next slide, please. Okay. So now as you see in your slides or on your screen, you see that what are the 4 pillars of flip. Okay. Now the 4 pillars of flip, the very first is flexible environment. Okay, now we'll see what is the meaning of flexible environment. See the pillars FLIP. F stands for flexible environment. So as a teacher, you should be able to say that I establish spaces or a time frame मैंने set किया है, and the students will be able to interact and reflect on their learning, which is very much needed in today's time. Okay, so what are you doing? A flexible environment you have to create, and you have to set a time frame where you're going to permit your students to interact and then reflect what they have learned. Now how it is possible and how will you do it, we will learn. Okay, so I continues, as a teacher I will continually observe and monitor students to adjustment as appropriate. Now see, this is a very important concept. Now we all know that we all are going for accreditation process and all. In that there is a concept of advanced learners, slow learners. Okay, so how do you cater to the needs of these advanced learners, slow learners? So this is a very good approach. You can, if you are able to use for any subject or any course, it is going to be very marvelous. Okay, so I provide students with different ways to learn content and demonstrate mastery. I'll explain this to you in detail how this goes. Okay, so this is the first F. F is flexible environment. हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We are going to interact with each and every student को हमको reach करना है, लेकिन उसके लिए पहले अब हम monitor करेंगे students को. We are going to make them very much stable and we are going to give them the content जिससे वो reflect करेंगे कि उन्होंने कितना learn किया और कैसे learn. Next slide please ma'am. Okay. Now the FLIP. L stands for learning culture. Now, what is the learning culture? As a teacher, I give students opportunities to engage in meaningful activities without the teacher being the center. See, nowadays what अभी हम इतनी generation आगे आने के बाद also we feel that teacher is only bombarding us with so many lectures and so many notes and we are not understanding. This is a case with everyone. Okay, very few teachers would go a little ahead and try to teach the students more better. Okay, so I scaffold the activities and make them accessible to the students through differentiation and feedback. This is your learning culture. So as a teacher you have to show so much of interest कि हमने इतने सारे activities लेके हम सभी को accessible करेंगे to all the students through differentiation and feedback. Now we are not talking here about to differentiate the students. हम लोग group activities करेंगे, उसमें a slow learner will be able, we can club a slow learner with an advanced learner. उससे क्या होगा? The slow learner will understand the concept how that advanced learner has understood. Okay, very very important. Can we move to the next slide ma'am? Okay, the third is your intentional content. Now what do you mean by intentional content? So as a teacher, I will prioritize concepts using direct instruction. Now you are being teaching, okay, or you would be teaching. अभी आप नए teacher अगर होना चाहते हो, तो direct instructions हम लोग for learners to access on their own. I am going to prioritize. I'm not telling that every subject and every lecture you have to make a flipped learning, but there are certain chapters, you know, where you can beautifully use this context. I will explain you later on how. Okay, as a teacher, either I create or I curate relevant content. Okay, now what do you mean by the word curate is I'm taking it from another sources. That's just okay. Okay, and I'm going to help them understand that concept better. So ये intentional content में जमा करने वाली as a teacher. I differentiate to make content accessible and relevant to all the students. Okay, so I am now going to see, I'll be very much vigilant as a teacher कि whatever I have collected as a content, I am able to give it to each and every student, irrespective whether he will be able to digest all the content present in it. I have to take care of each and every student. Can we move to the next slide, ma'am? The next is a professional educator. Now, we all are into a profession of pharmacy, right? So as a professional educator, what is your role? Okay, as a teacher, I will make myself available to all the students, either individually, small group, with the class feedback in real time as and when needed. Okay, I conduct ongoing formative assessment during class time through observation. I'm going to observe the students. Now see, इसमें क्या होता है ना, role play होता है. The students will start playing roles, and while they are playing the role, also you will understand how that student is. Okay, I'll tell you, it is a very beautiful approach if we will definitely use it. And by recording the data, we can also use it for the future instruction. तो हमारा data भी collect होगा and we will be able to reach out to the students. So we can act as a professional educator. I will collaborate and reflect with other educators and take responsibility for transforming my practice. Means I अकेले में नहीं पढ़ने वाली हूँ ना. So suppose if you are a teacher, you are from other institute and I am from other institute. Suppose if I have a course content, I am going to upload it. Okay, or I will be asking you what do you use, है ना, जो हम collaborative learning, collaboration has become so important part, and these the Western cultures already you do it. So we need to start. Okay, the time is right now. We need to start doing all these things. Okay, so can we move to the next slide, ma'am? Okay, so we all know that हम लोग सब accreditation कर रहे हैं, like whether it is an NBA or a NAC, we all are aware about the Bloom's taxonomy. We know that the Bloom's taxonomy has been revised. Okay, तो जब हम लोग traditional method से जाते हैं ना, what is that? We are focusing more on remembering and understanding. We are focusing more on remembering and understanding. और जो बाकी के है ना, that is applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, that has been given lesser value in our education system. Now, we're not in our education system, the prevailing education system. But definitely NAP is going to make each and every teacher to use these different types of approaches so that no student is left out. Now, it is very much visible in the slide that before the class begins, अभी क्या होता है जब हम classroom में जाते हैं, so we are just going on the going and teaching, or we are showing a presentation, and what are we doing? We are bombarding. Okay, हम समझा रहे हैं उसको concept. So remembering, understanding पे focus हो रहा है. Okay, and in the exam, what is happening? He is doing this only. He is remembering and he is understanding. यही दो, and he is writing. So where are these four gone? Applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So in the this pedagogical approach of flipped learning, we are focusing on evaluating and creating. Okay, we'll see how this is going to affect and how this is going to take care of these four lower, actually upper area है. तो इसमें हमने flip किया है उसको, Bloom's taxonomy को flip किया है. So even the Bloom's taxonomy gets flipped when we use this technology. Okay, or when we use, sorry, not technology, when we use this approach. So it fits with the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So more focus has to be given in the middle area. That is, he must be able to apply, he must be able to analyze, any student. और हम लोग उसको evaluate करते आना चाहिए कि ये चीज क्यों मुझे यूज होगी, कहाँ यूज होगी, and he should be able to create something out of it. Okay, जो हम बोलते हैं incubation की environment दो, innovation, ideation has come so much importance in today's prevailing world, so that we need to, what we say, push into the student's head. And how do we do this effectively? To flip learning. Can we move on, ma'am? Now the next question which will come to your head is why you should flip your classroom. I am okay with the traditional method. मैं chalkboard से okay हूँ, मैं presentation से okay हूँ. Why do I flip my class? और flipping अभी समझा ही नहीं है. So why you should flip your classroom? So there are many, ये जो authors हैं इन्होंने लिखे हैं कि what is this technique and how it is going to benefit your students. So flipping speaks the language of today's student. You know, I'll talk about today's students later. Flipping helps busy students. Now in NEP, there is going to be a different scenario altogether where you are going to give the students free time. Free time in the sense उनको दूसरा elective लेके वो कुछ करेंगे. तो उसमें अगर suppose आपका भी subject उन्होंने लिया, then how he is going to deal with all this? तो वो busy होगा student. So flipping is going to help them. Flipping helps struggling students. I'm talking about the slow learners only. So slow learners, every student is not equally clever, right? तो उसको थोड़ा time लगेगा समझने के लिए. So it is going to help the struggling students. We say the slow learners in this case. Flipping will help students of abilities to excel. That is the advanced learners. Advanced learners और excel करेंगे क्योंकि उनका content और ज़्यादा creatively they can put. Flipping allows students to pause and rewind their teacher. Now in the basic classroom, या तो traditional classroom में, if a student interrupts, first of all in the class only when you enter, you will say that ask the questions later. Where there are very few teachers who will say कि you can interrupt me and ask, है ना? तो जब students को pause करना है, when they are in this mode, they can pause the student, the teacher. He or she will rewind it, understand, and then go again ahead. Okay. Then flipping increases student-teacher interaction. We'll see how. Then flipping allows teachers to know their students better. Very, very important. As a teacher, we should know your student. Okay. Know the student in the sense where he is finding difficulty. उसको कहाँ ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है मेरी. वो flipping is the best tool, I'll tell you. After reading so much about flipping, and I also use this, but I was not knowing कि मैं flipping use कर रही, but I was doing this concept. Okay. Can we move on to the next slide? Okay. So flipping increases student interaction also, क्योंकि हम लोग उसमें group activities देंगे, तो जो student कम बोलता है या तो कम participative होता है, he will automatically start interacting. Okay, होता है ना, there are introverts and extroverts, so introvert student के लिए बहुत ही helpful tool है ये. Then flipping allows for real differentiation. Okay, now in the traditional education system, when we are doing the assessment or when we are doing the checking and all, हम लोग को पता ही नहीं चलता है कि कौन सा student actually is deserving those good marks. Okay, because he is doing the rote learning, he is good. But ऐसा नहीं होता है ना, real differentiation होना चाहिए कि student ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा capable है. I'm not telling that you differentiate them, but they are capable. And then how do you groom them for higher education, for a better understanding of those subjects, choosing their career path? Very, very important. Flipping changes classroom management. Very important. Because sometimes even you have to give the student a role of a teacher so that he, तो ये classroom management की भी principles थोड़ी हम लोग इसमें shifting करेंगे. We'll see how. Flipping changes the way we talk to the parents. Okay, now when there is a parent-teacher meet, or when you're talking to a particular parent, or a parent calls you up, okay, so he should, as a parent, what you expect from the teacher, ki wo teacher must be able to tell that where your parent, where your ward is weak, where he is very good, and so we have a clear cut understanding. So flipping your classroom can give you a best answer what you talk to your parents. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the participants, please mute your mic. Okay. So flipping also will educate their parents. How? Now, ये question, when I was reading this content, I thought about this, that how flipping can educate the parents, because parents को पता चलता है that their ward is good at what and not good at what. Okay, so we can be a very, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं that their parents are important stakeholders. So this is definitely going to help them. Flipping makes your class transparent. Okay, very transparent, क्योंकि वहाँ जब हम लोग group activities करेंगे तो you transparent है that who is performing is far apart. Okay, and you're not, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं कि थोड़ा सा कभी हम we become little partial and all, so that cannot happen only, क्योंकि वो सारा transparent होगा ये system, and we are going to use a flipped classroom. Flipping is a great technique for absent teachers. Okay, now when there are automatically, if you need, अचानक से कोई situation, emergency situation आई, when a particular teacher is not able to take her or his class, so what do? So that class can be flipped. Okay, so, but you cannot make this as a regular practice. Okay, but it is a very great technique when the teachers remain absent due to certain reason. Flipping can lead to the flipped mastery program. ये इसका आगे का part है, that how a flipped mastery program can be created. Okay, so this is, I explained to you why you should use a flipped classroom. So the second question which first came, why did you, what is a flipped classroom? Then came why you should use a flipped classroom. Then we move on. Can you move ahead, ma'am? So these authors also tell you that they are not telling that flipped classroom is best. Okay, there are so many pedagogical approaches. इसमें से flipped classroom we are talking about. So they also talk about the 5 bad reasons for flipping your classroom. Okay, मतलब they are telling that do not fall into these traps. अगर it is important for teachers to move beyond their perception. अगर तुमको लगता है, then you move. But when we will go through all these 24 slides, you will understand how important it is. Suppose अगर जैसे because some guys they have written a book, they have published it, you feel like using this tool? No, do not do that way. Because you think it will create a 21st century classroom? No, it is not that way. ऐसा नहीं होगा. Okay, तो because कोई भी टूल जब हम यूज करते हैं एजुकेशन की, इट शुड ऑलवेज ड्राइव टेक्नोलॉजी, और दूसरा नहीं होना चाहिए दैट स्टूडेंट शुड नॉट ड्राइव द टेक्नोलॉजी. Technology must drive the student. It has to be that way. I'm talking about studies. Okay, then the third reason they tell, because you think you will become cutting edge, तुम अलग हो जाओगे, कुछ तुमने pedagogical approach यूज किया इसीलिए. ऐसा नहीं है, because it is not that कि flipping your classroom tells you to use latest technology. ऐसा भी नहीं, simple ways है. We will see how we can use this technology. So these are the 3 reasons that you should not think when you're using this method or this approach. Next slide, ma'am. Okay. So because you think flipping your classroom exempts you from being a good teacher, ऐसा भी नहीं है. See, because what you feel that when you are delivering a lecture in your class, तो हम लोग मास्टर हो जाते हैं वो पर्टिकुलर कोर्स कंटेंट में. तो अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैंने ये कोर्स कंटेंट फ्लिप कर दिया तो आई विल नॉट बी अ गुड टीचर, नो, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. व्हाई? बिकॉज टीचिंग इज मच मोर देन गुड कंटेंट. अभी कोई टीचर्स ऐसे होंगे जो इतने इफेक्टिवली उनका कंटेंट डिलीवर करते हैं बट द स्टूडेंट्स डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट. So do you want to be such a teacher? You have to decide. Or you want that the maximum teacher, maximum students must come and sit in your class, understand the concept and then go away. See, we had teachers who were very, very strict with us. हमको समझता था कुछ भी नहीं. But they were so strict and then he or she might have become a good teacher because of the strictness. But ऐसा है क्या? No. What is your basic aim of profession? It is to make the concept clear to that particular class. Okay. Now, because you think it will make your job easier, you are going to use this? No. Because flipping, we'll go ahead and we'll see how difficult also it is. Okay. So flipping will not make your job any easier. ये ध्यान में रखो कि flipping भले ही तुम कोर्स कंटेंट पहले ही डाल दो, it is going to make your job easier. ऐसा नहीं है. Flipping does not mean that it is going to make your job easier. Okay, so these are the reasons you have to think before you go with this approach. Okay, can we move ahead, ma'am? Okay, so now comes, okay, fine. Abhi mujhe ye use karna hai, flipped classroom. How do I go? Okay, so there are very easy 6 steps which you need to implement before you follow a flipped classroom. I'll just tell you immediately how it goes. Okay, first you need to plan, then you need to record, share, change, group, regroup. Okay, now I'll explain to you this in short. सबसे पहले तो मैंने immediately I told you when we started with the lecture, I told planning does not mean that every lecture you make a flipped classroom. No. So out of, suppose if I have a PCI का syllabus में follow कर रही हूँ तो I have 45 lectures and I have 15 tutorials to take if I'm talking about a degree classroom. And if I talk about a diploma classroom, in the entire year I have to take 90 lectures or so. If I'm wrong, correct me. तो जहां तक मुझे पता है कि 90 लेक्चर का कोर्स कंटेंट तुमको डिलीवर करना होता है. So out of the 90 or out of the 45 and 15 you forget about the tutorial part. Okay, तो 45 में से तुम लेक्चर्स ऐसे प्लान करो कि उसको फ्लिप करेंगे हम. Okay, now later on we'll see that which then फिर तुम्हारे दिमाग में आएगा कि which content I need to flip. So it needs a very detailed plan. See, now you are a teacher. You are teaching a content which you have already learned in your BPharm. और डिप्लोमा नहीं किया होगा तो भी वो डिग्री में तो हमने पढ़ा है उसको. So you know which content needs more understanding. You know which content is difficult to understand. Okay, and which content needs lots of memorizing also. है ना? तो क्योंकि those only you need to plan. Okay, ध्यान में रखो, those you need to plan. The second is record. Now recording is, I told you कि तुम तुम्हारा content को record कर लो. Like for example, if I have made a presentation, so I will make a recording of it. है ना? Either you deliver it या तो उसको तुम voice over presentation बना लो, and that is your record. Okay, then you are going to share it. You share it with your students. After sharing, you are going to change it. Okay, change it, that is after the feedback. After feedback, if you feel that I need to add some more content, you are going to add it. Then you will group. Now what you are going to do, इसमें group जब करोगे तो in the class when they will come, और आगे हम इसको समझेंगे how it is done. So ये मैंने क्या किया, मैंने plan किया, I recorded all my lectures, I shared it with them before my class had begun. Suppose मेरा 30th lecture है. Okay, so in the 20th lecture only I will tell that student or that class that on the 30th lecture we are going to do this. So तुमने ये video content I have already shared it with you. So please read that concept and come and we will be learning on the in the class. Okay, तो उससे क्या होगा, when you will come inside the class, पहले तो तुम पूरा समझा दोगे उनको फटाफट से, because they have already gone through it. Then you are going to make groups. Okay, who has answered many of the concepts, you will make groups in your classes, and afterwards that particular group नहीं दे पा रहा है result, so you can regroup, यहाँ से दो उठा लो, यहाँ डाल दो. See, this was happening in a school, but at a very basic level it was happening. Now if you see in this, can you see this model over here, this traditional, the picture over here, if you see, ये Bloom's taxonomy है, ये pyramid में Bloom's taxonomy है. On the left hand side they have shown the traditional model, and the right hand side they have shown the flipped model. So in class में traditional model में more of understanding and remembering, और flipped classroom में in class we are going to do more of creating, evaluating and analyzing, applying. ये जो 4 higher order के हमारे thinking skills होते हैं. In traditional model outside class वो करेगा या नहीं करेगा वो हमको पता नहीं, बट यहाँ तो करना ही है क्योंकि वो क्लास में करेगा, हमारे सामने करेगा स्टूडेंट. ओके, एंड आउटसाइड द क्लास इन हिज हाउस or whenever he gets time, he will try to remember the content and try to understand the content. Okay, so this is the flipping mode what we talk about. So ये जो 6 steps है, these are the very important steps of any flipped classroom, and after the 6 steps you review it, revise it and repeat it. Okay, तो ये है तुम्हारी how to implement a flipped classroom, very effective way. Can you move ahead, ma'am? Okay, so now you will tell that is this the only strategy? No. अभी जब हम लोग ने यहाँ ऊपर बात किया था group up and regroup, there you can use these strategies also: active learning, peer instruction, collaborative learning, problem based learning, discussion or debate. You can use these strategies to make better use of a flipped classroom. I will tell you how a flipped classroom is done. Okay, we are going to see a paper which is shared, और एक Elsevier का paper है, that I'll tell you how it was done. Okay, तो ये वाली भी strategies we are going to use when we are going to use a flipped classroom. Next slide, ma'am. Okay, now although traditional lectures, you know, many of the time when there are chemistry teachers, no, they will tell ki, ma'am, we are okay with the chalkboard, sir, we are okay with the chalkboard, because we do not want to move out of a comfort zone, है ना. It is better कि तुमने पढ़ लिया, उसको chalkboard पे लिख दो, chalk से board पे लिख दो, and then it is easy. But you have to understand कि are the students able to concentrate for such a long time? And you know that these students have grown up with high speed internet, video games, mobile gadgets. You all have children at your home. Okay, so you know कि ये अगर ये generation को तुम घंटा घंटा बिठा के lecture दोगे तो maybe it is not effective. कुछ चीजों के लिए effective होगा वो, where the teacher is trying to make it very easy on the board. Okay, लेकिन वो भी तुम record करके पहले रख सकते हो. Okay, so this, if you see in this 2 approaches, this is a traditional classroom learning approach. Quickly I'll explain this, and this is a flipped learning approach. So before the class हम लोग क्या करते थे, टॉपिक पता होगा तो होगा, और स्केड्यूल हमको पता है, टाइम टेबल है ना. इन द क्लासरूम दिस इज द सेज मतलब पंडित है. हम टीचर्स पंडित बन जाते हैं. वी आर ट्राइंग टू टीच द स्टूडेंट्स, एंड आफ्टर द क्लास व्हाट विल हैपन, some will learn, some will not learn. एक्सरसाइज सॉल्व करना है तो करो, होमवर्क है, एंड असाइनमेंट्स आर देयर, वो क्या करते हैं, एक दूसरे से कॉपी करते हैं. तो वैसा न करते हुए अगर हम लोग फ्लिप्ड क्लासरूम अप्रोच यूज करते हैं, तो बिफोर द क्लास व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, you share all the study content with them, you give them various links. See, now what happens, हम मेरे मुंह से स्टूडेंट्स ही निकलते हैं. What happens when we are as a teacher, when I suppose if I want to teach a Krebs cycle, है ना, I teach biochemistry, from years I am teaching biochemistry. So suppose if I want to teach a Krebs cycle, I know that the students cannot remember the pathway properly, लेकिन इनको मुझे और अंडरस्टैंड करवाना है, तो I will search on the internet. I will search, तो वो सर्च करके I can download, तो and I will give it to the students. These students are not going to
Excuse me, ma'am. Babita ma'am. You have muted yourself, so we are not able to. Yes.
You can't hear
Actually, the mic was mute not there. Now it's
my mic.
audible. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. So the learners को हमने पहले ही study material. Okay. And in the classroom, what will happen? Now, suppose if I have done a flipped classroom of prep cycle. तो मैंने content सब share करके I'm not telling them to learn the entire pathway. Okay. So when I am in the class, I will give them groups, or I in the entire class I will try to explain it first again. So they know, yes, I am okay with this. और जो fast learners है वो फटाफट assimilate करेंगे जो तुम सिखाएंगे. And after the class, you give them quizzes. Okay, after the class, what you do? In the evening, you prepare prep cycle मैंने पढ़ाया उसके ऊपर एक questionnaire बना दो and share कर. And then he will understand कि मुझे कितना content समझा है कितना नहीं समझा है. So with this, you will also get a very good response from students. Okay. So this is not only beneficial to students. I will say how later on you can show this method to so many different people who will appreciate it. Can we move ahead, ma'am? Okay. So now ये तो मैं अभी बता दिया है what is happening in a traditional classroom and what is happening in a flipped classroom. So flipped classroom is also a blended method of learning. ब्लेंडेड नहीं है, ऑनलाइन भी हो रहा है, तुमने पहले ही कंटेंट दे दिया ऑनलाइन, और ऑफलाइन में तुमने क्या किया, ग्रुप डिस्कशंस ये सब करोगे. तो यू आर आल्सो मीटिंग योर ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी विद द हायर ऑर्डर थिंग्स. स्टडी मटेरियल दे दिया, होमवर्क हो गया. इन द क्लासरूम सो मेनी थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग बिफोर द क्लासरूम. नाउ इज दिस इजी? तो काम तो किसका बढ़ रहा है इसमें? टीचर का बढ़ रहा है, बट ऑल्सो इट इज मेकिंग योर जॉब इजी. यू फील सेटिस्फाइड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. ओके, तो फेस टू फेस है, ये ब्लेंडेड है. This is blended means some content is face to face, some is online. Linear है, ये non-linear है. You are meeting each and every student equally. Instructor control है, यहाँ learner control है, वो अपने pace पे. You cannot tell him 10:30 को ही तुमने ये lecture देखना है. He doesn't want to see at 10:30. He will see it at night जब उसका attention span ज़्यादा होगा, or see it in the early morning. Okay, so that is a very important aspect of flipped learning. So before the classroom, I already told you, यहाँ टाइम टेबल पता है, बाकी कुछ पता नहीं रहता है, और कौन सा टीचर लेगा, है ना. यहाँ irrespective who is the teacher, the content has been uploaded. Analyze, understanding करना. In the classroom, the instructor gives lecture, students learning milestones he will achieve. Then in the flipped classroom, what will happen? Peer performance को ज़्यादा importance है. In a group, how that particular person is behaving. Okay, suppose हमने 5 का ग्रुप किया, you know that only 3 are interacting, 2 are not interacting. या तो कर रहे कम कर रहे, तो next time what you will do, you will shift the group. ये 2 वाला हटा के और ऐसे ग्रुप में डालो कि जहां कोई नहीं बात कर रहा है, तो he will start learning or speak little more. Study material I told you before the class, after the class मिलता है, यहाँ before the class मिलता है. Homework given, not given, not necessary ना. ट्रेडिशनल क्लासरूम अप्रोच में हम लोग देते नहीं है, if we talk about higher education, but in flipped classroom तो ये important हो जाता है, तो एक एक्सरसाइज देना और उस पे हम उसको असेस करें. ओके, कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड मैम? ओके, so now when do we start it? Now's the time. Okay, when do we start using flipped technology? Next academic year से you can plan at least 1 or 2 course content तुम बनाओ ऐसा. Okay, so it has been, now you will say, is it a new technology or a new approach? No, ये पहले भी होता था, but now we have to use it more because our students are of that generation. Okay, तो पहले के जमाने में या तो in the past low technology use करके they were using this technology. I told you, our teachers also use this. वो क्या बोलते थे? Tomorrow we are going to learn this from so and so page number to so and so page number. You have to read and come. When I was doing diploma in Institute of Pharmacy, Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Pharmacy, our teachers was so specific that tomorrow I'm going to teach you such a content. They used to tell us the book, the page numbers, and we had to read and come for better understanding. तो जिसको करना है करेगा और आके उसको ही अच्छे से समझेगा. तो वो लो टेक डे था because technology was not so advanced that time. So another flipped classroom driver क्या है तुम्हारे लिए? Suppose तुमको कंटेंट नहीं आ रहा है, यू आर नॉट एबल टू रिकॉर्ड इट और समथिंग, इट्स ओके. तुमने लिंक देना है, Okay, whatever is best. So if you have seen 10 videos on it, you like one video, वो वाला वीडियो शेयर कर, तो उनको ये नहीं उनको कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगा क्या हमको चेक करना है. So you have given each and every student the same link, he will read it or he will listen to it. Okay, तो सबसे पहले now is the time, मैं क्यों डाला है मैंने ये it is, you have to first get trained. You have to first as a teacher understand कि ये मेरे लिए कितना important है. See, 1 year 2 year you will find it difficult, but later on there will be no teacher like you. What I am telling you, इसके ऊपर I can give you 100% assurance कि if you practice one flipped classroom, you will be known as a best teacher. Okay, can we move ahead? Okay, so let's move forward with flipped learning. Now flipped learning क्या है? Adaptive है, students will be very बहुत easily accept करेंगे वो. Flexible है, effective है. It is going to make you creative. The students also become creative. तुम्हारी ideations इसमें important है. Your content is distributed. Okay, तो ये successful flipped classroom के लिए, if you are having all these with you, you are going to be the best teacher, I'll tell you. Okay, so it revitalizes the traditional education. Why? क्योंकि हमको पता है कि chalkboard से students are not concentrating. Okay, we are also overburdened, isn't it? तो हमने एक बार उसको क्या करना है, content बनाना है, and then you use it. Suppose if I am teaching this subject from past 5 years, next year I am not teaching. You give the content to that person. Okay, explain it. तो उसका भी burden कम होता है, उसको भी better, he or she understands what is this and he will definitely like it. Okay, the students are going to like it, definitely they are going to like it, क्योंकि इसमें group interaction होता ही नहीं है ना तुम्हारी traditional method में, और यहाँ तुम्हारा traditional method से अलग जब तुम चलते हो, there is lots of group interaction, and I'll tell you in the next slide how it benefits. Okay, straightforward improvement in grades you will see. The students become more confident. Okay, when I have tried this method in my college, the students become more interactive. तो होते ही होते हैं. You know that हम लोग हमेशा as a student we talk about the holistic development. It is not about only rote learning. Learn करो, answer लिखो, अपना 60% से above लेकर आओ, distinction आ जाओ. That should not be the aim of a teacher. Aim of a teacher must be holistic development. उसका मुझे करना है, उसका communication skill बढ़ना चाहिए. He must be able to stand 5 के ग्रुप में interactive होना चाहिए. He must be able to come out, stand and explain what not only explain, a role model he can play. छोटा सा टीम में अगर एक्टिविटी दी तो रोल प्ले करते आना चाहिए. That is the basic concept of flipped learning. Okay, so effective learning ecosystem का very important measure we can say is flipped learning. Can we move ahead? Okay, so what when I was researching about flipped classroom, तो ऐसा लगता है ना whether I will be able to do it or not do it, I am not sure. So let's give it a try. So how do you make a effective flipped classroom? 6 tips for successfully flipping your classroom. सबसे पहले set a date. एकदम से क्लास में जाके you cannot tell कि कल flip learning होगा और तुमको ये करना है. No, you plan it out. You set a date कि तुमको पता है ना, you all make a lecture plan, you all make a syllabus plan of the entire semester. तो वहाँ मेरा 5th lecture will be a flipped learning, my 10th lecture would be a flipped learning, and that should be made available to students when you are going in their class. Explain them the importance of flipped learning, explain them why you're going to do this method. Okay, then market the flipped model and get students excited. वही मैंने कहा कि तुम market मतलब in your students only. Make them excited, make them feel yes something exciting होने वाला है, and then after giving everything you get out of it, क्योंकि इसमें टीचर का इंटरफेरेंस थोड़ा कम होना चाहिए, वो अपने आप से लर्न करना चाहिए most of the things. Okay, this happens in abroad. In abroad उनको सारा कुछ नेट पे दिया जाता है, in their LMS or the ERP whatever they are following, they have to do all the content, they have to come and discuss them. Okay, तो discussion होता है क्लास में, very important, जो आज नहीं होता है इंडिया में, अभी तक तो नहीं शुरू हुआ है. In only few universities you will find that happening. Okay, So make sure everyone have access to the internet. So before you apply this or before you take this, go with this approach, you need to assure कि मेरा हर एक student के पास internet connection है, otherwise he will be left out. Okay, so how do you deal with this? अगर उसके पास internet connection नहीं है, तो you can group what we say, we can group students or you can give your college facility to him in a specific time to use it. If you have a 24-hour Wi-Fi, तो कोई problem ही नहीं. Then you also plan out some flipped model assessments. Okay, तो assessment भी तुम्हारी ऐसी होनी चाहिए MCQ type. अभी सारे तो MCQ, all students are very good at MCQ, so they will not copy. Okay, because you have made them so much accustomed to subjective writing also and MCQ type also. तो flip model assessments कैसे होता है, उसमें तुमको role play करना है. Okay, you like I'll give you some certain examples. I'll give you certain examples later. उसमें क्या होता है, you flip the role also. Like you become the student. Student will become the teacher. तो इसमें क्या हुआ, flipped model assessment हुआ. And give students a reason to be prepared. है ना? You make them so excited about the content कि वो definitely he will go ahead with it. है ना? Next, ma'am. Okay. So what are the various types of flipped learning? तो सबसे पहले है तुम्हारा standard inverted classroom. Okay, I'll tell you about what is a standard inverted classroom. इसमें क्या है कि beforehand you explain the students कि ये prerequisite है, जैसा I told you in our college we were told I'm going to teach you this lesson next week and I'm going to teach you from so and so book and these are the page numbers. तो ये हो गया inverted classroom कि पहले ही उनको lecture videos दे दो, audios दे दो अभी. Okay, or you also can tell them to get that textbook, read that topic and then come in the class. Okay, and in the micro flipped classroom what is there, short videos are given, छोटे छोटे assignments दे दो उनको and where they will conduct in the classroom time, not outside the classroom. In the classroom only they will do this assignment. अभी assignment should not be like you do it at home and come, no. तो उससे तुमको समझेगा how many people are doing it willingly, how many students are putting their efforts to do it. Okay, now demonstration, अभी discussion oriented flipped classroom. इसमें क्या है, what you can do in the class also. You आपने share कर दिया content पहले, they will read it and come. कोई करेगा नहीं करेगा it's okay, but your वैसे भी in the traditional method also you cannot assure that 100% students are listening to you. Okay, but with this mode you can definitely give a best post content delivery, है ना? तो फिर तुमने क्या करना है, in the classroom you can play that video and you discuss. Okay, so your discussion oriented flipped classroom has that in that. And demonstration based flipped classroom, it is very important for your anatomy, physiology. Then you have your pharmacological experiments, then you have your chemistry जिसमें तुम models वगैरह बनाते हो, उसमें you can go with the demonstration based flipped classroom. And the next is your Fox flipped classroom. What is Fox flipped classroom? इसमें क्या है, artificial है. Okay, इसमें क्या करना है तुमको, जो तुम assignments देते हो. Now in the PCI pattern you have seen there are so many different types of assignment which you can choose. So you can go with a assignment which will fit into your flipped classroom. जैसे तुम group discussion you can take class में quiz session. Okay, जैसे groups में divide कर दो, room में quiz लो, है ना? Then group based flipped classroom, this is about debates. Okay, having a debate, is this good, is this not good. जैसे हमने advantages disadvantages सिखाया है किसी चीज का, तो उसमें group based flipped classroom is going to play a very wonderful role. तो उसमें या तो you can also do कि this group will explain one content to this group will explain one cloud, लेकिन तुमने ये तुम्हारे presence पे करना है. Okay, and a virtual flipped classroom is what? A virtual flipped classroom is classroom time for tutoring. इसमें classroom का जो हम लोग time utilize करते हैं to talk with the students, वो totally eliminate करना है. तो and you go on a virtual mode. Okay, half virtual and then you come in the next class and you give them the assignment. तो ये virtual flipped classroom. And this is a very interesting, ये सब ने हमारे teachers day पे वगैरह हम करते हैं. That is role reversal. Okay, role reversal is the student become teacher, teacher becomes a student. See, in this what you can develop in the students, हो सकता है कि कोई स्टूडेंट इतना गुड है इन डिलीवरिंग अ लेक्चर और उसका कॉन्सेप्ट इतना क्लियर है कि उसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग द स्टूडेंट्स अगर उनको समझता है तो दे विल इमीडिएटली ग्रास्प इट मोर देन अस. ओके, इसमें वी आर नॉट, हमारा रोल कम नहीं कर रहे हम लोग, बट वी आर गिविंग हिम अ चांस टू कम अप एंड take that role. Okay, this also I have used it, and I didn't give it, ये automatically हो गया. One of the student came to me and he said that, ma'am, can I explain the urea cycle to the class, because he understood it so well. I said, why you didn't understand how I taught? Then, no ma'am, I have understood, but I feel I should explain it. I said, okay, tomorrow's class you explain. तो imagine कि जो हमने पढ़ाया है वही इंटेंसिटी से जब वो पढ़ाता है, इट लुक्स सो नाइस, यू फील सो मच ऑफ वार्मथ एंड यू फील अ सेंस ऑफ सैटिस्फैक्शन मिलता है. यस, हमारा अचीवमेंट ही वो है ना, इजंट इट? तो दिस इज अबाउट टाइप्स ऑफ फ्लिप्ड लर्निंग. कैन वी मूव अहेड, मैम? So there are various tools for flipped learning. उसमें screen casting tools, many might have used it in this pandemic. So these are the some names of screencasting tools like Camtasia, Screencast-O-Matic, Snagit, Screen.
Ma'am, your mic has been muted, ma'am. Babita, ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible. Your mic has been muted for some time.
Okay. So video sharing tools like YouTube, you all know about, we all are well aware about YouTube. Then Vimeo and MOOCs, everyone knows what is MOOCs. It is massive online. Yes, can someone complete it? What is the full form of MOOC?
Massive open online courses.
Or courses. Okay, so purposefully the CS I have written, okay, इसमें एडिशन नहीं हुआ है वो, तो ये वाला भी टूल हम यूज कर सकते हैं. That I'm talking about NEPTL पे कितने सारे courses available है that you can directly take, but only do not take it and teach it, or do not just give them. उसके ऊपर assessment लो तुम class hours में when you have your class. Okay, can we move ahead, ma'am? Okay, so here I was talking about a example which I had learned when I researched about flipped learning. So it is in a currents in pharmacy teaching and learning. Volume and page number दिया है. Title is Flip My Class, a faculty development demonstration of a flipped classroom. Now this was a activity based. इसमें क्या हुआ है ना, the teachers were trained. Like how I am explaining theoretically, वहाँ एक workshop लिया था जहाँ flipped class, what is flipped classroom, what is flipped learning. So in that a group of teachers, they were given this, they were not told कि ये तुम flipped learning कर रहे हो या कुछ. Okay, and there was an assignment जो pharmacy related नहीं था, but pharmacy teachers involved. Okay, it was a pharmacy school. So they had given पहले ही उनको crane बनाना, paper से crane, origami it is there, origami से crane बना के you have to give it. उनको स्पेसिफिक डेट दिया था कि ये टाइम तक यू हैव टू सबमिट इट, एंड नथिंग वाज टोल्ड टू देम. So when after doing this, see, teachers were doing this. After the teachers were doing this, it was seen that only 80% of the student of the teachers participated in. तो सोचो teachers का ये हाल है तो students का भी वही हाल. And afterwards it was said that everyone has to submit it to the coordinator, जो भी coordinate कर रहा था, ये डेट तक लाकर देना है. So they had seen that out of the number of class teachers available over there, 2 teachers submitted after the deadline. Okay, तो मतलब ये तो हमारी human nature है, वैसे students के साथ भी हो सकता है. So that you should be okay with it. Then after that उनको बताया गया कि what we were trying to teach you was a flipped learning concept, एक pedagogical approach है, and how do you use this tool to teach your students. Okay, so in this एक origami का concept लेके बताया था. The same way you can start with a small, very small approach of any whatever content you are teaching, and then you start. Okay, can we move to the last slide, madam? Yes. So to conclude the flipped learning, yes, it is definitely attractive to today's student learners, क्योंकि हम आज की जनरेशन को बोलते हैं मिलेनियल्स, जनरेशन वाइज, नेट जनरेशन. तो ये पोर्टेबल एक्सेस इंफॉर्मेशन होगा उनके पास, एंड दे विल गेट अ गुड नॉलेज, और एक फिल्टर्ड नॉलेज उनको मिलेगा. हाउ मच टू स्टडी, व्हाट टू स्टडी, फ्रॉम वेयर टू स्टडी. स्टूडेंट टुडे एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, वी ऑल टॉक अबाउट एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, पार्टिसिपेटिव लर्निंग. तो उसका ये इंपॉर्टेंट अप्रोच होगा, पेडागोगिकल अप्रोच. लर्न टू हेल्प ईच अदर, स्टूडेंट्स विल स्टार्ट हेल्पिंग ईच अदर. एक के पास नहीं है कंटेंट, so he will learn to help each other. Okay? The students become more interactive. Increased classroom interaction. So the introverts है वो बोलना सीखेंगे. They will try to become interactive. All these things will help. A successful flipped classroom requires, ऐसे ही एक रात में नहीं होगा तुम्हारा flipped classroom. You have to have a very thorough plan, और तुम accountable होना चाहिए उसके. You cannot just go and teach something and come back in your class at your place. Okay, may not be suitable, as I told you in the beginning only. हर class के लिए suitable नहीं होगा, हर course के लिए भी suitable नहीं होगा, but it is a very valuable tool. Out of the 90 lectures, out of the 45 lectures, you can at least choose 5 where you will use this approach. Student need to be more responsible. हम लोग we are not telling कि ये teachers के लिए ही सारा कुछ है. Student also are equally responsible कि तुम कितना एफर्ट्स डालते हो. बट इसके लिए फैकल्टी को क्या करना है? They need to encourage each and every student in the classroom. So with this, I finish my topic on flipped learning. Happy teaching and happy learning to each one of you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yes, anyone?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Jyotsna Gandhi. Good afternoon. Ma'am, I had to ask you a question. Students nowadays are actually not very much into hard work. They go for shortcuts. And if we give them some assignment also, even which is written, it becomes a big task for them to even complete it and give it on time. So how do I encourage them for flipped classroom?
Yeah, so for flipped classroom, see, suppose if even I'm a teacher, even I face the same problem as you. So what I can do, suppose if I have a OBT, you know, so OBT, I know OBT is an open book test. We take it as an assignment. So what I will do, I will beforehand, I will tell them, I am going to give you such and such question. वैसे भी तो OBT है. You have to come in the class and you have to, in the class you have to, OBT तो classroom में ही होते हैं हमारे class में. In our college, we practice it in the practicals or in the theory classes. Okay? But the second, suppose if I take a poster assignment, तो हमने उनको deadline दिया, वो आएंगे नहीं तुम्हारे पास. So what you have to do, you give a content. Everyone, beforehand, and you have to come and prepare that poster in the classroom.
Okay.
So automatically, what will happen? Your student engagement भी होगा, और वो content तुम पहले ही share कर दो.
Okay, ma'am.
And give the poster topic on the same topic to everyone. हो सकता है तुम उसको evaluation में लो या ना लो, that is a different thing later. Then you can choose कि मैंने 5 इसका ले लिया, 5 इसका ले लिया. So this is the way you can go with it. और MCQ तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, like assessment tool for pedagogy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I want to ask one question. मतलब पहिले कसं होतं मॅडम, आपलं जे पॅटर्न होता आपलं शिकण्याचा 2015 पॅटर्न किंवा आपल्या वेळेस ते इयरली पॅटर्न होतं, ते तर आपल्याला किंवा टीचरला भरपूर वेळ मिळायचा मॅडम या गोष्टी करण्यासाठी. पण आता जे कसं होतं मॅडम, आपल्याला विदिन 3 मंथ और 4 मंथ 45 लेक्चर घ्यायचे, 2-2 सेशनल घ्यायच्या, पण प्रॅक्टिकल एक्झाम घ्यायच्या आणि त्यात फायनल एक्झाम घ्यायच्या, या सगळ्यांच्या असेसमेंट घ्यायच्या. याच्यात कुठेतरी आपल्याला पण टाइम भेटत मॅडम या गोष्टी करण्यासाठी. ते मॅनेज करण्यासाठी किंवा या मुलांना त्या गोष्टीला ओरिएंट करण्यासाठी कुठेतरी आपल्यालाच प्रॉब्लेम येतो मॅडम. ते
Yes.
कसं मॅनेज करणार मॅडम अशी गोष्ट म्हणजे ऍक्च्युली हे कंटेंट खूप छान आहे किंवा करायला खूप चांगलं पण वाटतं पण जेव्हा प्रॅक्टिकली करायला जाऊ त्यावेळेस त्याला टाइम द्यावा लागेल आणि तो टाइमच नाही
Yes.
मॅडम.
No, but what I am saying, na, even I found it very difficult at the beginning. So at least one lecture you can do this, one content जो तुमको लगता है बहुत difficult है, अगर मैंने इसको इस approach से पढ़ाया, आपका काम जरूर बढ़ेगा. तुमने पहले ही उसका वीडियो या तो डाउनलोड करो, share it with them, and in the next class when they will come, उनको sufficient time दो read करने के लिए या तो सुनने के लिए, and after 5 days when they come in the classroom, there only you take the assessment ना. तो तुम्हारा असेसमेंट का इवैल्यूएशन भी हो सकता है उधर ही. सी एवरीवन हैज अ मोबाइल नाउअडेज.
ओके
अगर एमसीक्यू तुमने प्लान किया है
ओके
तो तुम्हारे क्लास आवर में ही तुमने असेसमेंट दे दो, इवैल्यूएशन भी हो गया. लाइक आई एम डूइंग फॉर वन कोर्स वन टॉपिक, आई एम गोइंग विद दिस अप्रोच फॉर बायो.
ओके
सो इवन यू कैन चूज इट. एक और चीज ना आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू, see when you go for accreditation of your colleges and all, they ask these questions where are you motivating the students for participative experiential learning. तो यहाँ तुम्हारा आ सकता है. Then how do you take care of your advanced and slow learners? Automatically तुम्हारे सारे आंसर्स कवर हो जाते हैं. That you can give this as an, हम लोग ये अप्रोच यूज करते हैं.
ओके ओके थैंक यू मैडम.
Yes. Anyone else?
Yes, if you have any doubt, you can free to ask. Yes, participants, if you have any doubt, you can free to ask to the ma'am. Ma'am will surely solve your issue.
I don't think so anyone has any doubt.
Yes, ma'am. I know. Actually, teachers are consistently encourage students to be dedicated for their studies, for the to be the passionate for their careers. Okay, so teachers play a very important or the significant role in the students' life. So we, as a profession, as our career, as our profession, and as per our goals, we must engage in the development of the futures of the country. So definitely, ma'am, all the tips that you have given to all of us, it will be definitely beneficial for our life to being improve ourselves as an academician, as a lecturer, as a professor, for sure. It will be definitely helpful for all of us, ma'am, as per NAC, as per PCI, as per our accreditation criteria, ma'am. Thank you so much. Extremely, I'm really thanks for accepting our invitation and being here for us to give us the very important tips or the tools that we will use for our future.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
ma'am.
And I would like to end this today's session with what my mentor, my teacher told. Always when I had become a teacher, even I was little like not very comfortable in the initial years. She told me only one thing, my mentor. She said, where you're sitting, on which chair you're sitting, you have to value that chair. Because you are sitting as a teacher. You cannot play with any student's life. So तुम जब कुछ कोर्स पढ़ा रहे हो, then how efficiently you have supposed to deliver the content. So I always take that to my heart, and I try to be the good teacher in the college. So with this, thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request all the participants to please on your video. We will complete with this session, photo session, and then we will conclude this session. Please, all the participants, please on your video. I request you all. I also want to thank all the participants for joining with us for the today's faculty development webinar and make it so blissful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, from the RGSPM Institute of Pharmacy, from the our section. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Chintamani, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. And I'm sure that this whatever research I have done on flipped classroom will help at least agar 5 teachers also use this, so aaj ka mera 1.5 hour, I will feel that I have contributed to the profession. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you all the participants. Thank you.
Can I leave, ma'am? Can I leave? Okay, I think so it has been ended.